Welcome, everyone, to the fourth Virtual South Summit of 2021. And this one is a truly special one. It's about the MENA region. Now, all of you know that the MENA region is a very special region of the world, and in particular, a special region for IE, the South Summit, and also personally for me. And I'm so happy to see so many familiar faces here. Neda Habibi. How are you? Omar, a lot of alumni, it's amazing. We have so many alumni in the Middle East that every time any professor goes out there, it's like being at home. It really is like being at home. So I want to say a special hello to our beautiful friends from Lebanon that are going through still a very hard time. We will never forget you, and we're with you all the time. All right, so let's begin. Today we have a really special lineup of startups from some of the most disruptive countries of the Middle East, so I'm sure you're going to love these presentations. And we have an amazing lineup of jury members, which many of which, as I just said, are IE alumni, and they're all doing really, really well in the Middle East today. So with that, we're going to begin. I'm going to welcome Marta, who's going to give the special welcome from the South Summit. Marta, welcome.
Thank you, Paris. Thank you, everybody, and welcome to this fourth edition of the Virtual South Summit. We are really, really pleased to be once again here in the War Room in our family place, which is IE University, with our partner in crime, IE, and always Paris, of course, always being partner of this conspiracy for enforcing having a great business opportunity for the whole ecosystem. As Paris was telling, today we have the opportunity to connect a fast-growing ecosystem from the MENA region, and we're going to have one of the best startups that they were registered in our competition for this edition, for this special edition. Out of 155 startups, we selected 4 of the best startups of the whole region. And we're going to have some of the best juries from all over the world, and specific from these different countries of the world. And we're going to listen to the great messages and great learnings from our top speakers that would share their knowledge with us today. So thank you very much for all of you, and thank you very much for being here. And as you know, South Summit is always seeking to connect the best actors of the ecosystem, of the global ecosystem, and this is a great opportunity to connect each other and to make business together. So welcome, marhaban, and just have fun.
Okay, thanks, Marta. All right, now the Middle East would not be the same for IE University if it wasn't for the lady who is responsible for building this region up for us for the last, I'd say, almost 10 years, maybe. All right, with that, I want to introduce my good friend Sabine. Sabine, where are you?
Hi, Paris. Good to be here today. I'm really, really excited to be part of this first MENA edition. And as you know, Paris, IE is one of the most diverse higher education institutions in the world. Our alums that are here today can also testify that. With its network of 30 offices around the globe, we actually managed to literally bring the entire world to Spain. 2 of our offices in the network are based in the Middle East, in the UAE and also in Saudi Arabia, both vibrant countries. So how can we think of diversity without including this region, which is home to one of the most innovative countries in the world, with a young, resilient, and entrepreneurial population driving change forward. This is why IE put this part of the world at the core 15 years ago. And since then, we have visited every country, engaged with leading corporates, reputable institutions, foundations supporting talent, entrepreneurship ecosystem, and of course, supporting our alumni. Coming to IE will really expose you to the whole MENA region, as we receive on campus more than 500 students every year, sharing knowledge, sharing culture and skills with the rest of the students. Our mission is to actually facilitate education for those wanting to boost their knowledge and skill set, but also to build a local network that they will join post-graduation to empower their work in the region. So the network that IE has built consists of leading corporations such as Talabat, Amazon, Etisalat, Deloitte, Saudi Aramco, but also active engagement with the local entrepreneurial ecosystem, setting up a number of competitions which you've been also leading, and also the growing IE alumni family in the region, which is our strongest asset. And throughout these years, I've actually witnessed so much talent, so much resilience, and so much creativity from the region. So I'm sure today the pitches will be a reflection of this. Thank you, Paris, and welcome everyone.
Thank you, Sabine. Okay, with that, I'm going to introduce our special guest. We're going to have a conversation with Talabat. Now, to really drive this conversation, we have the CEO of Talabat, which is Tomaso Rodriguez. Tomaso is a natural entrepreneur. He has been disruptive in several parts of the world, and now he's leading the efforts of Talabat in the Middle East. Join me in welcoming Tomaso Rodriguez. Tomaso.
Hey, hi everyone. Hi Paris. Thank you very much for having me here. It's a great pleasure.
Tomaso, is it true that you're Italian?
Yeah, I am Italian, despite my last name. Yes.
All right, good. Well, I am half Italian, despite my last name as well. So, this is, Italy is known for what the Middle East is known for, passion, right? So I'm not surprised that you made your way.
I thought you would say food.
Well, food too, but I'm not surprised you made your way to the Middle East. So, Tomaso, let's talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. Where did you start?
Yeah, sure. I think, when I started my career, I actually was not thinking about being an entrepreneur. I thought my future would be in marketing, and I applied only for 3 companies. There were P&G, Coca-Cola, and Disney, and I never got any reply from any of them. I'm still waiting. So I decided to start my own company out of lack of ideas of other companies to join, because I didn't want to do consulting or anything else. And I've been a founder and co-founder with my best friend for 4 years, and our company was called Agency Management, which went pretty good, but we were forced to sell it 4 years later because of a fine print on the contract. So we didn't have any money when we wrote our first contract to our clients, and we asked our lawyer friend to do it, and he did it for like 100 euros or something like that. And the contract was not clear at all. It was not clear whether we were selling the service or we were selling our product entirely to our customers. So we had a legal dispute with one of the customers, and at the end of the day, long story short, we were forced to sell the company. So that was a pretty bad invested 100 euros. Should have invested much more than that, right? So after that, I moved to venture capital for a few years in Europe. I was working for 360 Capital Partner, which is a fund that invests between Italy and France. And through them, I was lucky to join Uber as one of the first employees in 2012, and launched and scaled Uber in Europe, and became head of Italy and Greece. Again, downturn after a few years. Regulators had us shut down most of our markets in Italy, in most of our cities in Italy and Greece, and I decided to start a new thing again. That was this new thing coming up at Uber that was called Uber Eats, and that was the beginning of the journey in food delivery. But I did it in Singapore. So Asia was a market they wanted to start, and so I moved to Singapore to launch Uber Eats, and I launched 13 countries across India, Southeast, North Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. And then after a few years, actually Grab, which is the leading ride-hailing company in Southeast Asia, acquired Uber. So then I moved to Grab and created the food delivery business for them again. And I think that was a fantastic journey. It was a super hyper growth journey. We moved from 1 to 2,000 employees in 1 year and a half, and we launched 250 cities and realizing 1.5 million orders a day. This was incredible journey. And just recently, 1 year and a half ago, I moved to the Middle East to lead Talabat, which is an amazing company I'm extremely proud of, that operates in 9 countries here across the Middle East and North Africa.
Okay, thank you, Tommaso. So what an incredible journey, and what a lesson, the 100 euros, huh? That's one for all our entrepreneurs to take note of. Now, so now you're in the Middle East, and we're still in what some people like to call this the new norm or post-COVID. How was it for Talabat? How was it for you? I mean, you joined, what, a year and a half ago, so your honeymoon was pretty short before you got stuck with COVID, right? Now, was that an opportunity, all this uncertainty for the company?
Oops. Yeah, I think it's easy to say today that it was an opportunity. I think back then it was very, very hard to predict, and the reality is that no one really knew what we could expect out of this pandemic. And I think as many of the companies here went through pretty dramatic periods. We had a pretty big dip at the beginning. People were not trusting food delivery at all as well. They were worried it was not safe or whatever. So for us, the biggest priority has been safety, right? So making sure we had gloves and masks and the sanitization of the bikes and the riders, etc., and making sure our customers will feel comfortable. After that, I think it's been an upward trend, and food delivery became kind of a more and more part of everyday's life, more than probably in the previous years, and has been a tremendous growth even now after it started. One big opportunity that came out of that is also what we call T-Mart, which is our grocery stores. It's a new line of business we started during the pandemic. We opened 70 different stores across the region, and from those stores we deliver groceries 24/7 in 30 minutes, which is a completely new value proposition for the region, and customers are extremely happy about that.
And Tommaso, this is an event around MENA. Tell us about your experience in the MENA region. Why is it such a special region?
Well, I think MENA is an incredible region. What I did when I moved here, well, to be completely honest with you, Paris, the idea for me was just, it's a part of the world I don't know at all. And I just want to explore it, and I want to spend a few years. And as many people do when they come to Dubai, they say, I'm probably going to stay here 1 year, and then they end up staying 20 years, right? Because it's such a fascinating place, such an incredible culture, and such incredible food as well, of course. But I believe it's a very easy place also to do business. It's very easy to have good relationships with the regulatory bodies. It's very easy to set up and have good business in terms of unit economics, in terms of sustainable business. There's not many irrational players like you may have in other parts of the world, especially in Asia or in the US. I think everybody is here to do business for good and for the long term and in a sustainable way. So I found the Middle East a very, very amazing place to do so.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question, Tommaso, as we wrap up here. One of the things that as I said at the beginning, most of the people watching us are either entrepreneurs, investors, alumni, and entrepreneurs are used to living in times of uncertainty. They're used to dealing with uncertainty. They see opportunity in uncertainty. How have you dealt with uncertainty in your life? And what advice do you give to these new entrepreneurs that go into new markets or in their own market have to deal with so much uncertainty every day?
Yeah. Well, uncertainty is always something you have every day, but I would say that's also what keeps me motivated every single day. I feel living like Travis, the founder of Uber, used to like to say that it feels like a math professor, right? That every day has to solve problems. And what would the life of the math professor be if one day he wakes up and he doesn't have to solve any problem, right? It will be a very miserable or horrible life, right? And I think that's a bit what keeps him motivating it every day as well, like having big problems to solve. That's what, when you can use your brain and you can really contribute to the value. So I think uncertainty is just recognizing that life and business is just a set of problems, one after the other, and we just need to nail them with a hammer mindset, one after the other. If we have the mindset of, I want to solve this problem because I feel that after I solve this, everything will be good, you're never going to build a big business, because guess what? That's not the case, right? You're going to always have problems, always have uncertainty. So the best way is really to find a way to have this hammer mindset and deal with it.
Yeah, I like to describe it as whenever we think, we have this line that's a complete, mess chaos. And whenever we think the line is going to be straight, it's never, ever straight. But that's actually a good thing, right? Because that means there's another opportunity for you around the corner.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And how does one reconcile, the final question here, Tommaso, because I know you're really busy, but how does one reconcile one's personal life with being an entrepreneur?
Well, I think I'm a very bad example of that, because I do like to exercise. That's a one thing I don't compromise on. I like to exercise basically every day. But in terms of health and work-life balance, I think I've not been very good in the past period. Before COVID, I used to take around 130 flights a year, which is not good. I had chronic problems on my back. My girlfriend, broke up with me because I was working and traveling too much. So I don't know, probably I'm not the best person to ask this, but I think mental health is important, and exercising helps me a lot with that. Yeah.
No, I don't think there's one, right answer when it comes to one's personal life, but having a balance is important. And as you said, mental health today, health is wealth, as they say. All right, Tommaso, thank you so much for your time, and keep up the good work there in the Middle East at Talabat.
Thank you very much, Paris. It was a great chat.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, it's moving right along here. Now comes the special part of the whole event, which is the competition, which is what most of you are here for, right? So let me tell you how this competition is going to run. Our criteria for this competition is innovation, scalability, team viability, and investability. How investable is the startup? The winners of today's competition will fast track to the 100 finalists of the main event at the South Summit in October. So we have an amazing jury. So let me just go through very quickly some of our jury members. Ali Jaradeh from Scale Plus, Borja Lopez from DAR VB, Faisal Al-Hawi from Dubai Future Foundation, Jose Luis Lopez Villen from Etisalat, one of our alumni, Lara Halfan from El Marx, Lola Fernandez from Venture Souk, Manaf Asfour from Propeller, Neda Al-Daihani, one of my favorite alumni from Brilliant Lab in Kuwait, Omar Shaban, another one of my favorite alumni from The Space in Saudi Arabia, Othman Al-Dash from STC, Rita Al-Shanti from Oasis 500, Samarth Shekhar from 630 Ventures, Victor Sunier from Kanuru Capital, Victoria Mehran from Expert Dojo, Andrew Yep from Neom, and Enrique Ortega from Jellify. What an amazing lineup, right? All right, well, let's get going. Our first startup is from the United Arab Emirates and is represented by the CEO, Haitham Jamal. The description of this startup is they deliver B2B marketplaces in 4 weeks, digitizing trade through their integrated ecosystem. Join me in welcoming Disti Chain.
Hi, my name is Haitham Jamal, and I am the CEO of Disti Chain. At Disti Chain, we offer B2B marketplaces as a service. In terms of the overall market, we are tackling a $51 trillion opportunity of all the containers and shipments that are moving, which are mostly analog. Only 13% is digitized because of lack of trust, heavy manual processes, and lack of engagement. At DistiChain, we offer a turnkey solution when we're able to deliver B2B marketplaces in 3 to 6 weeks by scoping, customizing, and then going straight to launch. In terms of our B2B, our platform, it's a B2B2B platform, and we, as DistiChain, deliver a customized marketplace, an ecosystem of services, and we govern the trade. Our customers are actually the owners of the marketplace, and they are operating the marketplace and are responsible for the sales and marketing of the marketplaces. And the traders are actually the ones that enjoy the secure, simple, and empowered trade. As such, we deliver a fully digitized trade solution whereby the traders are able to enjoy seamless trade, access it via a cloud-based and intuitive platform, and our ecosystem is able to service that trade in real time, and the trade engine, which sits in the middle using the blockchain layer, is actually what governs the trade and makes sure that everything happens in the correct way. Our ecosystem of services that are offered to traders vary from verification to governance to banking and fintech and supply chain. By putting all of those together and linking it in real time to the transaction, we're able to really create a fully digitized solution. That said, it's intuitive and it's cloud-based, so any trader from anywhere in the world can actually access and benefit from these B2B marketplaces. We have a strong customer pipeline. We've already handed over 2 marketplaces, and we are having 2 that are closing now, with more than 8 others in the pipeline. And our current structure is that we have a small setup fee, approximately around $20,000 to $50,000, but then we make a 1% commission on the trade, which is highly valuable. Our team is talented. There is myself, who has been managing companies, large organizations from multinationals to distributors across the 20-year period, including a 15-year period in general management. Alberto, who has just recently joined us, actually was the CTO of Noom.com and Reactor. And then we have people from Maersk, Amazon, in order to really make sure that we have the right skill sets to deliver and to reinvent global trade. Thank you.
All right. Well, you just heard it from DistiChain. Questions from the jury? Okay, Ali.
Yes, hi. I just would like to ask you about your competition, if there is any competition here in the region, and if there is any benchmark that is out there. Thank you.
All right, moving right along. Who else we have here? Faisal?
I have a question, Paris.
Nida?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if can you hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you for such a great presentation. I just want to have one question about your 1% transaction charge. And I want to make sure that I understand your business model like really clearly. So you're doing the setup for between the B2B, between the 2 customers, but I'm not sure, like, I think 1% for all the transaction happening between these 2 businesses is a little bit of high percentage. So how is your experience with your current 3 or 2 businesses that you just mentioned? How's how's their feedback in terms of this transaction?
Nida, I think we just had some technical problems with the startup. They've dropped out. So hold on your question for a minute, and let's see if we bring them back. Are we able to bring them back? Okay. If they can come back, we're going to come back to the questions. So in order to
Sure.
save time, we're going to keep going. Thank you. All right. Startup number 2 is represented by Samer Taraneh. It is from the country of Jordan. Tebcan is a digital health platform where medical service providers and patients connect. Join me in welcoming Tebcan.
Hi, my name is Ali Mahmoud Ali. I'm the CEO and founder of UTrack TV. UTrack TV is a video on demand app and platform that provides high quality content from the Middle East and the world. A lot of great content goes unnoticed due to the lack of coverage, difficulty in content accessibility, and the inability of watching content at your own convenience. This is why we have designed and built UTrack TV app to provide you with highest quality content from the Middle East and worldwide. We offer both video on demand and live streaming, and we specialize in motorsports, sports, and entertainment. Our revenue model consists of freemium with ads, premium on a monthly or yearly subscription, and pay-per-view. Internationally, we have brands such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu, with a market value of over $56 billion and growing. And in the Middle East, we have brands such as Jawi TV, Shahid, and Weibo, with a market value of over $3 billion and growing. On the other hand, we have UTrack TV, offering a totally different and unique experience, unlike any of the other brands. We also have figured out how to produce content with friction of the price. Not only that, but we also manage how to get rights of events and championships for friction of the price. Since we launched on the 30th of June 2020, we have published 10 original films, and by 2021, we're aiming to publish at least 20 original films and activate the live streaming. We're having 5 live events. Since we published our original films, we have managed to get over 1,500 downloads, over 6,500 views on our app, and over 400,000 views on our trailers. We have also managed to sign an MOU agreement with Drift Kings, one of the top drifting championships in the world, to be exclusively on our app for 3 years. Also, we have managed to get the initial approvals from both Bahrain football and basketball national championships to be live on our app. Our media history consists of 23 international films, over 200 short films, over 500 live events, over 1,000 events overall, exceeding 5 million views worldwide. Our current partners, 500 startups and Plastics Labs, and our team consists of 5 passionate people specialized in tech, media tech, filming, broadcasting, and finance. We are currently raising $300,000 to activate the live streaming, further produce more original content, invest in marketing, and further develop our software. Thank you very much.
Okay. In case you noticed, that was not the one I mentioned. This was UTrack. It was pitched by Ali Mahmoud, and the description was that UTrack is a video on-demand app that specializes in sports and entertainment content from Bahrain. So, Q&A from the jury, please.
I have a question, Paris, here.
1 second, Neda. I think, Faisal, you have a question?
Go ahead.
I do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just wanted to understand the value proposition correctly. So are you a platform that covers live sports events, or are you actually creating the content and streaming it on your platform?
All right. First of all, thank you, everybody. We basically create content and obtain rights of events and championships. So we do both. So you can see it's just like similar to Netflix. They do create their own original content, but at the same time, they do own the rights of content that is produced by others. But in our case, we also focus on events and championships like football, basketball, and stuff like that, basically live on our platform.
Neda?
Ali, thank you so much for the great presentation. I have a very quick question. Can you give me, please, an average, the 10 shows that you've produced in 2020? What's the average cost to produce one show among these 10?
All right. First of all, hi, Neda. Thank you for your time today. Basically, the average is around, I would say, from $500 to $1,000 max. Not more than that, which is like not even 1% of what Netflix and other brands invest to produce such content.
Okay, thank you. Moving along. Enrique Ortega, you have a question?
Yes, I do. Thanks a lot for the presentation. Very quick one. I mean, video on demand is becoming more and more a saturated market. How do you plan to differentiate yourself and make yourself space against others like the companies that you compete against?
All right. Very good question. So what we have noticed is that the Middle East is an underserved market when it comes to video on demand. Also, we totally differentiate ourselves from any other platform. From the type of content that we offer on our platform, also the pricing and the technology that we offer as well. But in the region, there is no video on demand platform that we know of that is focusing specifically on sports and entertainment content from the region to start with.
Okay, thank you. Lola?
Hi, Ali. Great presentation. I just have a quick question in terms of if you could clarify the revenue model and how that has translated into the traction, comparing the in-house production versus the licensed content.
Okay, so first of all, we are an early stage startup. So basically all that we have is original content because we cannot afford to purchase the rights at this moment. So basically we have a freemium with ads. And at this stage, we're only working on premium. We did not reach to the premium subscription yet. We did not activate it, but we're planning in the next phase. So basically, as I said, we are operating on premium without the ads, and all of the content that we have is original, and majority of the users that we have are organic. We spent very little amounts on marketing, and most of it is organic.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're out of time. All right, we're going to go back now to our first startup, Disty Chain. We have with us Haitham, who's ready to answer questions again. Ali, you had the first question.
Yes, hello, sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, first of all, thank you for the presentation and welcome back. My question was, who are your competition in the region? And is there any benchmark out there for you globally? Thank you.
In terms of competition in the region or even globally, doing exactly what we do, we have not yet found somebody who does exactly what we do. The closest thing to what we do is a company called Miracle, which is a French-based company that is moving from B2B to C more towards B2B to B. It's a very complex process. I think now the technology using the blockchain and AI gives an opportunity. I don't think that it'll be long until many others will jump on this opportunity too. But yeah, at the moment we do have a early stage head start. And so far nobody has been able to produce at least so far. Nobody has been able to produce somebody who does exactly the same.
Thank you, Haitham. All right, Neda, you had a question. I think you're muted, Neda.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just having a question about the transaction fee you're having for your client. How's the focus group you have, the 3 clients you have now? Are they happy with the 1% of transaction?
So first of all, the 1% is on average. It depends by industry because different industries are operating differently in the B2B world. So to give you tangible examples of that, our first marketplace, which is agriculture an agricultural marketplace out of Australia, which sells from farmers and producers directly to distributors around the world, taking out, what they pay 15 to 20% to middlemen. They're paying 3% to the platform, of which we take 1.5, not 1. And they're extremely happy. In terms of the other marketplace, which is a hotel procurement marketplace based out of Canada, which has a network of around 400 hotels, we actually charge them less than 0.5%, because it's a much tighter industry. And then and the third one, which is a PPE trading company out of Florida, is actually we're charging them 1%, and it seems that's correct in the PPE world. But I just want to say here is that we do offer a lot of services against what we're offering. Other than the security, we do offer free escrow. We are, we're eliminating all the admin of. I've managed, this distribution and trading for 20 years of my life, and all these companies have departments to do this stuff, and we're just automating the whole end-to-end process.
Thank you, Haitham. Okay, we have time for one more question only, unfortunately. Enrique.
Thank you so much. Quick question. Because if I understood correctly, you're selling the technology platform, not the service on top of it. And I saw many different industries, but I would like to understand, what is your sweet spot in terms of clients? What is your ideal use case where your solution fits 100%?
So basically it is broad, because we are just anywhere where there's a transaction between two companies that needs security and automation, then we do make sense. And we have already agriculture, PPE, we have art with NFT, a platform being built now. So it's very broad, but what I see us doing is, from a go-to-market strategy, is building teams that are specified in certain categories. I see PPE and medical supplies being one, which is crucial, because we have already 3 customers in that. And also in agriculture. See, there's a huge opportunity in the $180 trillion of agriculture, which goes through brokers and middlemen, etc. Cashew nuts, for example, 15% of the value reaches the farmer, and the rest is all middlemen. I mean, what's that about? So this technology would be able to empower these guys to just place what they're producing, and somebody in Europe or wherever the demand is can buy it and the whole system is automates the full process between them. So yes, there will be industry specific verticals as we go and target, but at the same time we're getting a lot of interest from many different places.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, moving right along. Our third startup gets a lot of attention today. We're going to mention them twice. Tebcan. The picture is representing them, and it's Samar Tawane, the COO. Tebcan is a digital health platform where medical service providers and patients connect. From Jordan. Join me in welcoming Tebcan.
Hi, my name is Samar Tawane. I'm CEO of Tebcan. Tebcan is a digital health platform that is cloud-based, and it is a visualized system in the region, and it's the most comprehensive medical tourism platform in the region. So Tebcan came to solve the problem of patients and doctors, where patients cannot find the right doctors because they cannot qualify doctors, or it's very time consuming, and they don't want to call doctors. It's very hard to call doctors here in our region. Also, doctors want to reach more patients globally, not only locally, and they want to automate the booking process and do digital transformation, and they want to engage with patients with online consultations and minimize no-show cases. So Tebcan provides the accessibility for patients to go through doctor profiles that are on Tebcan and be able to qualify the doctors using the rating and reviews of other patients and book 24/7 on Tebcan. The founders are Nidal Youssef and Samar Tawane. Nidal Youssef has 24/5 experience in the IT field. He worked in Silicon Valley, and I worked for big projects in Jordan and Saudi. So Tebcan has 2 main services: appointment booking and treatment booking. Appointment booking, we have 3 types of appointments: home visits, online consultations, virtual consultations, or any clinic consultations. For treatment booking, we allow patients from the region to come and book treatments on our website, because we provide the best price and best procedures and best doctors, actually. We have a very simple revenue model where we get either 25% of the fees of the doctor, or a doctor can subscribe for a certain number, for example, $140 each month, and doctors can put sponsor ads on Tebcan. Treatment booking, we get 10% of the treatment. So if the treatment cost is $2,000, then we get around $200 of the treatment cost. Now we are the largest network in Jordan. We have more than 2,000 doctors. In Saudi, we are expanding. We have 700 doctors. Also, we have small network in Turkey and India for medical tourism. We have more than 70,000 reviews done on Tibcan, with more than 1 million visitors monthly that visit Tibcan portal. Our numbers are going really good, where we have expanded to 210,000 patient database and more than 2,600 medical service providers. Our revenue grew from $7,000 in 2017. Now we are on nearly the break-even point, which now we do $748,000, and it's becoming better and better. Except for the Corona thing, we would have done more than $1 million this year. We are raising $5 million to expand into Saudi, Egypt, and UAE in order to expand our revenue and do the exit after 3 to 4 years to a big pharmaceutical company or big insurance company. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Okay, thank you, Tibcan. Questions, Borja.
Hi, thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. I just wanted to ask, is the overall model, I understand, is to replace the physical interaction with the digital consultation, which particularly after COVID, I find it very interesting. But I would like to understand if there's going to be any kind of expansion in the overall value chain. For example, what would happen if the consultation finishes with the need for a prescription for a medicine or a drug? How is that, in this case, managed end-to-end on your platform, or what are the plans to expand the business model?
You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. Thanks for the question. Our platform provides the ability to write e-prescriptions. And actually, in the COVID era, we got like more than 1,000 e-prescriptions written on our platform. And this is like the first time happening in Jordan. Actually, we got e-prescriptions from Jordan and from Saudi. And not only, we're expanding into e-prescriptions. However, we're doing integrations with some sensors. Like we're doing like integration with the Abbott sensor that gets the glucose readings. So we're doing integrations with the wearable devices and also with the e-prescriptions and other things that do with pharmacies.
Right. Thank you. Rita.
Thank you for the pitch. I just want to ask 2 quick questions. How do you keep the user within your system, like not allowing him to work around and contact the doctor or the consultant directly? The other one, what do you offer to integrate the booking with the walk-ins or the offline bookings that happened over phone?
Mute. You're muted.
Yeah. So I started from Oasis back in 2012. This was like 8 years ago. So for this always happens. Like whether it's Expedia or Booking.com, we do it all. We go around it. What we do, usually we actually now out of 10 people that visit the doctor profile on Tibcan, only 1 books on Tibcan and maybe 9 books book outside Tibcan. And what we do, we generate revenue from the doctor by making ads. So we this is what we do. Also, we provided like for patients a point system where they can loyal points, so they can get more points, and then next time they book on Tibcan. And actually, patients call us and tell us that doctors are telling them sometimes cancel Tibcan and come to the appointment. And also we have like small artificial intelligence where we monitor the doctors and see the cancellation rates. And then if we suspect that this doctor is playing around, or then what we do mystery shopping, and then we warn the doctor. And if they keep doing it, we block the doctor. For the walk-ins, yes. Now we're putting like also like a system for secretaries to work on Tibcan. So we're doing a point system So secretaries can work more on Tibcan. We're doing like incentive things. We're doing training for secretaries. We're doing events for doctors. So, I mean, you need to buy loyalty of doctors and receptions and receptionists. So, and to be able to increase the bookings. Also integration with insurance companies. I mean, we noticed that there is difference between the Saudi market and the Jordan market. In the Saudi market, it does not happen a lot. In the Jordan market, it happens a lot. So it depends from country to country. It doesn't happen everywhere the same.
Thank you. All right, Victor.
Thank you, Paris. So I'd like to ask, and congratulations for the presentation and for Tibcan. There are a number of companies that are operating in similar space than you and in the region in different markets, right? So Visita, Altibbi, Okadoc. So I'd like to ask you what makes Tibcan different from these other players, or will make Tibcan different for you to gain a foothold in the market as you also expand into the territories of these other companies?
Mute.
Okay, so the company that works directly in our field is Visita. I mean, Visita, after Egypt, they came and started to compete us in Jordan. So we and Visita compete in Jordan. We took Jordan out of Visita. However, the market is really huge. You know, the healthcare market is really huge. It's $200 billion US. So it can take multiple companies, and it can take multiple exits. So because, I mean, we think like you can do an exit maybe 3, 4, 5 years with a big pharmaceutical company or big insurance company. And it's not like, you know, like Uber and Careem thing where you have like 2 players in the market. And even for Visita, we think that they might be even, they might acquire Tibcan like 2, 3 years down the road, because we now maybe we are targeting to enter Kuwait, and Kuwait, Visita are not there. So we try to maybe to enter some into the markets that nobody is there. Al-Atibbi is different thing. Atibbi is like mostly a content website. They try to introduce like the online consultations, but what they do online consultations with general practitioners. It's not like Tibcan. Tibcan is doing with specialized doctors like dermatologists and others. So it's totally different business model. And there are some other small players in here and there. I heard Okadoc get funding from the UAE, and they're doing more of like online business. So we managed to take the Jordan market, and our strategy is like to go everywhere. Visita is not at the current time, and to acquire the market fast, because now Visita is concentrating on on Africa. So they went, instead of going maybe to Kuwait and Oman and Qatar, and they went to Kenya and Nigeria. So I'm not sure why. Maybe the VC or the investor wants that, but the market is huge. We are almost on the break-even market in Jordan. We're starting to generate revenue from Saudi, and we want to capture the network fast. Our business model that we bring leads to doctors and hospitals. So doctors and hospitals do not mind if we bring them leads, or Visita bring them leads, or Okadoc bring them leads, because Visita brings them like 15 appointments a month. So they welcome another 15 from Tibcan, another 10 from. So until now, I think what's taken from the market is like 2-3%, and the market can take more companies. In Jordan, there are like 3 or 4 companies that went out of the market in the past like year or 2. They could not go along. It means lots of concentration, lots of tailoring of the product, lots of thinking. And one thing that we do that Visita do not do, which is medical tourism. We are specialized in medical tourism. We have brought more than 3,000 patients from the region to Jordan, cross borders. We provided all the service. We have experience in this field. Unfortunately, because of the COVID thing, borders were closed. Hopefully they will open again. So this stopped, but we started to do treatments within the same country. So we do treatments booking in Saudi and booking in Jordan.
Thank you, Samer. All right, we're out of time, but we're going to keep on going here. Our next startup is called Trella. Trella is represented by Peter May, the head of global expansion. It is a video on demand No, I don't think that's what Trella does. Trella, actually, we don't have a description for Trella, unfortunately, but they're going to describe it very clearly right now. They are from Egypt. Join me in welcoming Trella, please.
Hi, my name is Peter May. I'm head of global expansion for Trella. We are a digital trucking marketplace based out of Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan. Logistics is an indispensable industry across the Middle East, Africa, and Pakistan. The high percentage of GDP that this industry accounts for speaks to its importance in the massive market that Trella are targeting. This percentage of GDP, however, also speaks to the inefficiency of these markets. Across key indicators of logistics performance, these markets pale in comparison to best-in-class performers such as Germany. With the growth and prosperity of these regions tightly linked to the logistics performance, there's been considerable focus and investment on driving improvement. Unfortunately, key challenges exist within the road transportation sector, which accounts for the lion's share of the logistics market. Critical issues such as supply reliability, competitive pricing, and poor visibility continue to remain as blockers to industry efficiency and competitiveness. This poses a question: how might we drive market efficiency, encourage transparency, and improve the reliability of the logistics sector across the Middle East, Africa, and Pakistan? Introducing Trella. Trella aims to become the digital platform of choice for the procurement of logistics across developing markets. How does it work? It's quite simple. A shipper creates a load in their custom-built portal, which is reflected in Trella's digital marketplace, accessible to our network of qualified carriers. Those carriers are then able to select a load of their choice and assign to their driver for fulfillment. And our shippers love us. We've been able to drive significant cost benefits for our partners, ensure high reliability of supply, and improve visibility where there was none before. It is our demand flywheel which is driving a competitive advantage. Consistent demand drives quality supply, supply engagement drives efficiency and lower prices, and improved services drives further demand, and so on and so forth. And thus far it is working well. We have had early successes in Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and now in Pakistan, completing over 75,000 loads, onboarding over 21,000 partners, working to provide logistics solutions for over 150 shippers, and transporting over $500 million worth of goods. Our team is core to our success and brings together a mix of business, technical, and startup scaling experience to drive our continued growth. Starting out as a trucking broker in small to medium trucks in Egypt, we are now a digital trucking marketplace operating across Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan. However, our ambitions are grand, and we're continually looking for partners to help us scale on a global stage and become a complete end-to-end logistics provider.
All right. Well, you heard it. Trella from Egypt. Questions, jury members? All right. Omar.
Hi, thank you, Peter, for the presentation, and congrats for all the success. My question is on their expansion. It's very interesting. It's very unusual to see companies starting from Egypt, going to Saudi. That's very normal, but then going to Pakistan, and maybe I read somewhere that you were starting in South Africa. So just walk me through this because it's very interesting. I would love to know the strategy behind that. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, thank you very much for the question, and a good one, Omar. I think Saudi was clearly a very important and critical move for us as a business. We wanted to be a MENA player, and Saudi Arabia we saw as the most important market at the region. We launched there in January of 2020. We did look at the space when we started out in Jeddah. But what was interesting, or an interesting thing happened, and that was, I think around 70% of the carriers, the truck drivers who drive our trucks are from Pakistan, particularly in the heavy duty truck industry. And so that meant that we were forced, or we had to develop a product that suited the Urdu language and also this specific carrier persona. And as a result, we also started setting up small teams in Pakistan to support or enable our business in Saudi Arabia. And in doing so, we learned quite quickly about the huge opportunity in Pakistan, and we're able to kind of execute. So if you think about value versus ease of implementation, we actually had the kind of resourcing and experience to hit Pakistan, and hence why we moved into Pakistan as well.
All right, thank you, Peter. All right, Andrew. Mute.
Yes, hit the wrong button. Hi. Well, thank you very much, Peter. A quick question. I'm very curious about what was the biggest challenge for you in entering Saudi Arabia?
We faced a number of challenges, I think, in entering Saudi Arabia. I think it was a very interesting time. Quite early in Saudi Arabia's life cycle, I mean, there was a huge amount of investment in building the startup ecosystem and the kind of processes in place to enable startups, particularly foreign businesses in the country. And I think as a first step, we did have some challenges in kind of incorporating our business. But then since we've got running, I think some of the key challenges were mostly around finding the right supply to fulfill the shipper demands, the shipper needs. I think that the market as a whole is very willing for or ready to accept a digital solution. And so on the demand side, we found that a little easier than the supply.
I see. Well, thank you, Peter.
All right, thank you. Othman Al-Dahash. Mute? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Great. Can you just explain to me your business model, Peter? I did not get. So how are you making your revenues?
Sure. So we have what we call our take rate, and that is the difference between what we sell to our shippers and buy from the market. And so that margin is our take rate and the money we make. Is that clear?
Is it a percentage or a fixed fee?
So the current model that we operate, we have contracts in place with our shippers, which is a fixed rate, and then we source from the supplier on more of a spot basis. It really depends on the market we're operating in because there is differences and the supply dynamics shift. But for instance, in Saudi Arabia, it's generally more on a spot basis. And in certain cases, working with fleet partners, we will have fixed rates in process, in place.
All right, thank you, Peter. Okay, and now, unfortunately, we're coming to our last startup of the day. This startup is being represented by Andrea Cafage, COO and co-founder. It is empowering local businesses with local talent. From the country of Saudi Arabia, join me in welcoming Execute.
Imagine how much faster your startup would grow if they had the perfect marketing team. I'm Andrea, CEO and co-founder of Execute, and we ensure that startups and SMEs get the best marketing and design talents in the MENA region. Even seemingly simple projects like handling your social media can get really complicated really fast. Suddenly you find that you need more than just one social media guy to complete your project. You need a designer, a community manager, content writer, marketing expert, and the list goes on. It's a nightmare trying to manage all these people and figure out the right lingo for each of their particular fields to get the best results out of them. And that's if you're lucky enough to find the right fit. Founders lose time and money as they need to work through trial and error trying to understand who and what they really need. And how do you know what kind of team you need to get the results you want? You need experts to find the right experts. Small businesses only have 3 options: local freelancing websites where there's no guarantee on quality, high-end freelancing websites whose top towns do not understand the Saudi or MENA market and sensibilities, or local agencies that are far outside of their budget. Execute meets them in the middle. We provide the quality and experience of an agency with the flexibility of a freelancing platform at a price point that makes sense for startups and SMEs all through top local talents in their fields. We have a combined 20 years of experience in freelancing and delivering consultancy services for businesses in the MENA region, so we know what both sides need to be successful. Through our research, we've discovered what the most highly sought out services that growing businesses need. We modernize the freelancing process. We have spent the last year gathering data and getting customer feedback on what the key data points are for creating the best match. By answering a few simple questions about their business and project, we use our proprietary algorithm to select the top 3 talents that would best suit their project. We deal with local experts who can deliver results because they understand this market. We know our freelancers. Our team has personally vetted and interviewed each one to ensure their quality. The startup industry in MENA region has been growing. There's been a boost in governmental incentives and programs, as well as many accelerators, both local and international, pushing to make the region grow. The Saudi startup market alone is valued at $345 million US, and with 1/3 of Saudis wanting to start their own business, that number is continuing to grow. We want to promote the entrepreneurial spirit in the MENA region, to be part of what makes our region the next great epicenter for entrepreneurs, and to create more opportunities for upward mobility. We support those looking to create an independent source of income, be they entrepreneurs or freelancers, and create more opportunities for economic growth. If you want to be part of this vision, contact me after the event.
Okay, what a better way to end our lineup today than with a startup in the powerhouse of the MENA region. Okay, questions, people. Lara.
Hi, thank you so much for the pitch. It was great. My question was, so how do you differentiate yourself from the competition?
I would say 2 major ways. The first, for the region, we're the only one who filters our freelancers. So like sort of a top tail model where we interview them, make sure that they're at the level that we want them to be. And secondly would be that we have the machine learning algorithm that selects the freelancers for the project. So instead of going on the website and having like a big list of freelancers, we have our algorithm select the best for the project.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Enrique.
Yes, thanks a lot for the pitch. It was great. Design, social presence, and everything that you're trying to connect is very tied to culture, right? Or the culture of the company that is consuming those services. So how do you plan to bridge the gap? Because if I freelance with someone for a specific need, but then I have another need and I need to freelance with someone else, how do I make sure that culturally speaking, everything will fit my needs?
I mean, again, that falls into our algorithm. We make sure when we're, having our clients fill out their questions, they specify what their industry is and specify what country they are from. And we match based on both industry and country. And all of our talent are local.
Maybe a follow-up. In that case, what is it that you're selling? Are you selling the platform, or are you selling a service related to design, social presence, etc.? I mean, could your platform in that case also connect other types of industries and other types of service providers?
Oh, yes. I mean, we're just starting more focused on the sort of design and marketing aspect, and we do have plans to expand into other services. We just found with our research that these are the ones that are most in demand. So we decided to focus on them first.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Ali.
Yes, thank you, Andrea, for the presentation. I just would like to know, what is your current stand when it comes to the number of talent users, the revenue that you have? My second question would be, what would be your scalability plan? Is it focused on industry, or is it focused on geographic location?
In terms of our clients, we have around 30, all of whom are like about 70% become repeat clients from what we've noticed. For our freelancers, we have about 70 from the ones that we have filtered. We had hundreds of people applying, but we want to make sure that it's a very selective platform. And in terms of expanding, we hope to expand into the UAE, into Egypt. We have a lot of clients that are actually Egyptian companies that want to move into the Saudi market. So that's something that we can provide them to give them the insight of what kind of marketing language, there's a difference in dialects and all of that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We're out of time, so thank you very much to all 5 startups, to the jury members. I want to remind the jury members that now's the time to decide who's going to be the winner. So please, jury members, it's time to go and make those difficult decisions. All right, so let's go to our final speaker today. This is going to be a conversation with Access Partners. I'm going to be having a fireside chat with Renata Liuzzi. She is the CEO and founder of Access Partners. Renata has a long experience in customer experience. She is the CEO of Access Partners, which is strategy boutique consultancy, which is bringing a unique approach to that in the Middle East. Before, she spent 5 years focused on the Middle East as the Director of Customer Experience as well for Emaar Group and Miras Holding. Join me in welcoming Renata. Hi, Renata.
Hello, Paris. How are you? Thank you for pronouncing my name perfectly, Renata.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, like I said earlier, I'm half Italian, and you don't want to know my mother's name because that's a difficult one to pronounce. Okay, let's get going here, Renata. So, you've spent quite a few years now in the MENA region, but let's talk about the Renata that we haven't heard about in this bio, the one that started in South America. Talk to me about that, Renata.
Yeah, so I'm actually born and raised in South America. My father is Italian, and my mother is half Spanish, half Venezuelan, and basically my family is a mix. I grew up in South America, and my father, with being Italian, he had a great passion for cars. So our bonding activity was to repair cars. So I grew up with that great passion for cars. So we were basically repairing the car every weekend. And my uncle, he used to own one of the workshops in Caracas, the main city in Venezuela, which would basically tune cars for races. So I grew up with great passion for cars and to always, solve problems. How are we going to win this race? How are we going to tune these cars? So yeah, I ended up studying mechanical engineering, which is not common in South America for a woman. And while I was studying mechanical engineering, I joined a team of engineers actually building a Formula car. It's actually a worldwide competition. 140 universities from all over the world compete there, and you design and build a car and you take it there. You compete with universities like MIT, University of Wollongong, etc. And through this experience, basically, you actually learn how to take the concept from just an idea into a car that has to be actually running and competing into a track with another 140 universities in the world. So that actually shaped me into a different professional from the perspective of I developed a huge passion for finding solutions for different problems. When you go to a competition like that, you discover that for the same problem, you have 140 different solutions and 140 different ways to approach that challenge. So yeah, strong passion for mechanical engineering. Accenture was one of the sponsors of the team, and they actually invited me to join them, and they told me, why don't you join the team? And I said, no, I want to be a mechanical engineer. I want to build cars. And they said, just try for 6 months. And 6 months were 11 years working for them, actually facing enormous challenges that they put in front of you. And with them, actually, what you learn is there's no big challenge that you cannot solve. It's all about grabbing that big challenge and cutting it down into pieces. So the biggest learning that I had working for Accenture with a mechanical engineering background, and after having built cars and bring it to reality, is that you can bring anything to reality, and any challenge that you have in front of you, as long as you have a structure, you have a plan, and you have a way that is going to be desirable for your client, is going to be business viable, and you have the right technology to bring it to life. And when you have those three things together, you can bring anything to reality. So I worked with companies like Airbus Military, seeing the A400M being built and helping them redesign all of their service strategy. Then I worked with Jaguar Land Rover, redesigning all of their customer service worldwide and seeing how they would transform customer service into a way to produce revenue. And through this experience, I realized how much potential the service industry has, because 10 years ago, the service industry was perceived just as a cost in the P&L. It was just a cost line in the P&L. And in reality, when you put it into perspective, it's actually a great opportunity to make money, to bring your customers loyal to you, and to build a customer base that then will bring you ideas to create new services and new sources of revenue. So then I came to UAE after 2 years in London. So I spent 6 years in Madrid. I grew up in Venezuela, then I spent 6 years in Madrid, then I spent 2 years in London, and then I came to UAE, and I have been here working for almost 7 years. And it's been great, to be honest. Being in this region is just a door of opportunities.
So tell me, Renata, because you mentioned that this whole idea of, taking a complex problem, like, you were doing there with cars and the like, and dealing with that and creating something out of that, gave you a lot of experience for then doing what you're doing now. Where does design thinking come in there? Because I'm sure there's a lot of design thinking behind this whole customer experience thing, right? Tell us about how that experience you had was truly unique in terms of design thinking.
Yeah, in that time, imagine 15, 20 years ago, the word design thinking didn't exist. And the exact same process that we were using to design the car, to find the solution of a car, and to bring it into the competition under all the restrictions that you have, and make it a high-performance machine that would also be competitive against 140 teams, that was design thinking. And it was exactly the same process that we use in design thinking nowadays. And when I did recently my post-diploma with MIT on design thinking, I said, oh my God, it's exactly the same we were doing when building the car. So there's a lot of similarities in terms of how you drive design thinking right from the automotive industry and then across all of the industries that I have been working on. So basically, I realized that I have been doing it all my life.
So, and that's our last theme that I want to talk about before we close with you is back to the Middle East. Yeah, you came to the Middle East. Why the Middle East? What are the opportunities that you see here? What's so unique about this amazing region?
I think, and this is my honest opinion, I think this is the right place to be in this point of history. I think there's no country that is more flexible to adapt to the current conditions that we are living in. And I think this pandemic has changed the world as we see it for good. So I think there's a very good combination of different elements in this region that are very good to consider when you have a startup or when you're growing a business. And number one is the resilience of this region. So the fact that it's an unstable region has taught all of us to learn to adapt quickly. So you can see how fast the businesses can adapt to the different waves of the economy. And actually, if you look at what happened with the pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic, Dubai lost 10% of the population in a matter of 2 months. And then look at what's happening now in the economy. Just between January and the beginning of March, we have created 30% of new jobs. So the ability to rebound, it's unbelievably high compared to any other country in the world. And if you look at, for example, the retail industry, how it has rebounded, it has been so much faster than in any other country. So it's about the resilience that this region has, and also the power of the multicultural network that you have here. If you put together a number of professionals that have different nationalities and different backgrounds, and they all have the objective to succeed, you can only go forward. It is so powerful, the ability to network in this region, because everyone is interested to grow. Everyone is interested to do business. And the other thing is how ambitious the plans that the government has. They actually announced this week that they want to grow double the amount of creative professionals that we have in the next 5 years. And also they have just launched a new creative zone here in Dubai. So the plans to support creativity and innovation are quite strong. And the conditions that you have in the environment to actually grow a business in this area and create a startup, I think there's no better place to be. And I am living it right now. I am a startup. I am seeing the benefits of being here. And I have decided, I have different offices in different countries. I have decided that the base is going to be here and it's going to continue here, simply for all of these elements.
Thank you, Renata. Very inspirational. So keep on doing what you're doing, and we'll bring you back here another year. You can tell us what achievements you've accomplished a few years from now, and I'm sure they're going to be plenty. Thank you very much.
Hopefully. Thank you.
All right. Thank you again. All right. Well, unfortunately, this South Summit, Virtual South Summit of the MENA region is coming to an end. But before that, we have the special announcement. And I'm going to bring Marta back to the stage here from South Summit, who's going to share with us some parting words and also the winner, right?
Okay, yes, here I come with the winner. We have a very special winner this evening, but before we announce the winner, Paris, I would love to take a picture with all our friends here in the war room. I would like all of us to turn on our cameras so we can see our bright and beautiful smiles. And we can tell, I'm gonna ask you, Paris, if you can take the picture.
The selfie?
The selfie,
you know
because
I'm
you
the
have
selfie guy, right?
long
Yeah.
arms.
Everybody knows I'm the selfie guy.
You're the selfie guy, so please feel free.
Thank you.
To take a nice picture of us. I will have to maybe get up a little bit.
We're good. We're good. Okay. All right, everybody. Let's get everybody in the picture.
Say cheese.
Cheese. Big smiles. One more. Great.
You're so tall, Paris.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so this is the best moment of the evening. Our winner tonight in this MENA Digital South Summit contest, it's Trella from Egypt. Peter May, congratulations.
Trella, mabruk, mabruk.
So, Trella, welcome. Say a few words.
Yeah.
Yes, Peter?
No, thank you very much. It's very exciting to be part of this great competition, and super excited to be part of the global event in October. There was some great startups. It was really interesting to see some of the pitches today and the incredible kind of innovation that is coming out of this region, and very happy to connect with a lot of like-minded people that are investing in innovation here across the Middle East. So thank you, and very exciting to be a winner of this event.
Thank you, Peter. All right, well, with that, we want to thank all the startups, all the speakers, all the jury members for joining us today. Because again, we celebrated and we're continuing to celebrate an amazing region. So don't forget to sign up for the next Virtual South Summit, which will be our 5th next week on April 15th. It's going to be on energy and mobility. So, mabruk again to our winner, and to all of you, we look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thank you.